talk about some canned food, and then we're going to open it up and let them come to us. Okay? Couple of things about canned food when you're going to shop for it, and definitely age-related sometimes.
Okay.
Just so you know. So we have these 3 cans of food here, all from Friskies.
Yes.
And we love Friskies. Purina, it's Purina Friskies. People don't know that. It's a Purina product, but it says right there on the can. They think Friskies is its own brand, but it is not. It's a Purina brand. We love Purina. We love Purina Kitten Chow, Cat Chow. The Purina One products are great, and definitely the canned food is great. So people think that it's the low end of cat food. I absolutely do not. I've been using it for 10 years. Purina Kitten Chow is one of the best foods to feed a kitten. All kittens should be fed kitten food until they're 1 year old. It's full of extra fat and protein. It's essential for their immune system, building their bones, just like any child.
Sure.
We do have a age chart. So by the time that they're 1 year old, sort of on our scale, they're about 15 years old. So in that first year, now they don't age 15 years every year,
Right.
but in the first year, it's exponential. So imagine the growth of a child
Yeah.
in 15 years. All
Right.
of that, growing has to happen in 1 year for these kittens.
Yeah.
So
that's
it's
crazy.
really, really important to give them the right kind of food to give them the maximum amount of immunity and health. So, and giving them a snack of this is not a bad thing. I was at one seminar, the gentleman that was speaking said, you can give a cat canned food as their meal instead of dry food, and it includes enough water in it that you wouldn't even have to give them water. Now, I'm not saying that I believed all that, because I actually have a cat that'll drink me out of house and home. Just sit in the bowl and drink and drink and drink.
Right.
But it does have a lot of extra
Moisture
in it. So we like to call canned food here medicine, because we only feed it to the babies, the nursing mothers, and the sick cats, because it's the extra. And we don't always have extra canned food. So, but here we have shreds, filet, and pate. So what's the difference between shreds, filet, and pate? This pate is the ground up stuff.
Like a ground beef.
Ground beef.
Got it.
Even better than ground beef, just really pate.
Okay.
Like Spam, I
Right,
guess.
yes.
Although I've never eaten Spam, don't plan to either.
I don't either.
Some people say it's good. Have at it.
I'll take your word for
I'll
it.
take your word for it. This is great for little kittens because they don't have their teeth fully developed, and also they have really small mouths. And to get a big piece of a chunk of something, which these two are chunk, these are square and these are strips. That's the only difference. Sometimes they come in much bigger pieces than bite size. So a little kitten can get this in their throat and choke.
Oh.
And these long strips are not a good idea for little kittens because it's about that long.
Yeah.
And the thing about cats is, and we're going to show you, I'm sure Andy will zoom in down when they're eating, is, a cow chews its cud, chews and chews and chews. You don't see cats chewing their food.
Right.
I've never seen a cat take a bite, sit back and go.
True.
Okay, they don't do that. They take a bite, basically they rip from their prey and they gulp that bite. So it has to be a size that they can just swallow. That's the way that they were created. And so that's the way they still eat. So they take a bite, and if it needs to be cut down a little bit, you'll see them chomp chomp, but then they swallow whole.
Yes.
So some of the cats that have to have their teeth removed, people think that, oh no, they won't be able to eat.
Same thing.
Same thing. They just give them some pate, they can eat just fine.
Yeah.
And if you see your cat eating dry food, and I don't know if you want to pan over to Candy, she's eating dry food right now. There's a great example. She is just getting it in her mouth, positioning it, and swallowing it. and looking at it, and and so she's just grabbing a piece and swallowing it. She'll crunch it into a couple of small pieces,
Sure.
but you see she just swallows. So that's a great example. Thank you, Candy.
And that's why when your cats also throw up, it
Yes.
looks the same way it did before they ate it.
That is exactly right. If you have a cat that throws up after they eat and it's whole food, it's simply because they ate too fast.
Yeah.
And they ate too much too fast, and out it comes.
Right.
So sometimes cats do that when they're fed on a timetable. Instead of leaving the food out at all times, they're only fed a certain amount a certain time of day.
And they feel like they've got to.
They've got to get it in because
Right.
they don't know when the next food is coming. So if you've got a cat like that, you may want to just leave some food out, and then they start to learn it's not going anywhere. They will self-feed, except sometimes when they've known starvation. They just never, they will eat until they bust every time.
Aw.
It's just something that we've seen.
Sure.
So, and then of course, once you get a heavy cat, it's nearly impossible to get weight off of a cat.
No.
And that becomes a health problem. So it's they're very delicate
Yeah.
animals as far as that goes. We teach our kittens that food will always be there. Kittens have to have food out all the time because they have to be able to self-feed every couple of hours, or they start to gorge and then they have this habit and then
Right.
we're in trouble.
Right.
They get fat.